Have you ever flown up the pointy end of a plane? You know, where they serve the fancy champagne and give you PJs to change into when the sun goes down? If you haven't, don't worry, because today's guest has a business that optimises your frequent flyer points so you can fly flat.
Welcome to the Small Business Big Marketing Show, where successful small business owners share their secrets to take your marketing to the next level. Now here's your host, Tim Reid.
Welcome back, listeners, to another episode of Australia's #1 marketing show. I am your host, Timbo Reid, but you, so much more importantly, are a motivated small business owner ready to crank out some great marketing. And that is what we do around here. That is how we roll. Big show today. Listener question about a particular steakhouse that lacks a little bit of respect for vegetarians. No surprises there. Great guest, Steve Hui. Steve's a cubicle escapee turned successful small business owner with a very, very cool service offering that plays directly into what he loves to do. Hey, who wouldn't love a bit of that? And I guess you got from my intro at the very top of the show exactly what he does. More on that in a minute. And of course, I have got the inspirational, motivational marketing quote of the week. Let's get stuck in, team.
Small Business Big Marketing with Tim Reid. smallbusinessbigmarketing.com.
Now, as you know, this show is brought to you by the very good folk at Net Registry and 99 Designs. More on them and how they can help grow your business in a minute. But I have got a listener question, and I like this one. It'll put a smile on your dial. It's from Pete. Pete doesn't have a surname. He's got an email address, but I won't give that out. And he hasn't even given me a business name that I can promote. That's okay. He says, "Hey, Timbo, love your show, by the way. I follow you on Facebook. Big fan. Hey, by the way, if you want to follow me on Facebook, or the show at least, head over to facebook.com/small business big marketing. Funny that. And join us there. I post funny stuff there, you know, like funny business cards or packaging or business names, stuff that I see along the way, plus various other bits and bobs that enter my marketing mind. Back to Pete's letter. He says, "I was curious to know your thoughts on this social media comment from a well-known burger joint in Melbourne called Huckster Burger." You can find the link here. Well, he's given us their Facebook. I've also copied their post below. Here's what it says. "Yo, vegetarians, we respect your whole no meat get up, but please don't write into our page complaining that we only have one option. Our catchphrase is hot beef, cold beer, after all. You don't see us ringing Veggie Bar to whinge about the lack of steaks that are on offer." I love it. Pete asks, comments received on the Facebook post have been 50-50 in the way of positive versus negative. What are your thoughts, Timbo? Is this smart marketing or the wrong approach? Interested? Cheers, Pete. Thanks for sharing, Pete. I love it, mate. Smart marketing all the way. Why? Because I think smart marketing stands for something. Businesses that embark on smart marketing say, you know what? We are going to put a stake in the ground. Excuse the pun. Didn't mean it. Quite funny, though. We're going to put a stake in the ground and stand for something, you know? We're not going to try and please everyone, because you know what happens when you try to please everyone? You become nothing to no one. You become vanilla. You become wallpaper. So I love their courage. I think it's got personality. It screams personality. You know, it's memorable. I remember interviewing Andre from Vino Mofo a couple of years ago now. Again, you know, that's a online wine retailer called Vino Mofo. That's got personality. I love reading copy. I love seeing marketing that does that. So it screams of that. It's also really shareable, Pete. You know, word of mouth, mate. Word of mouth. We live in a world of word of mouth, not word of mouth. when you do stuff that's interesting and shareable, people put it on their Facebook. They put it on their Twitter, LinkedIn, all that type of stuff. So, look, yeah, it's going to piss a few people off. It's going to piss the vegetarians off, but that's okay. Hey, they've got their places they can go to, you know. I love vegetables. I think they go really well with steak. Now I'm pissing the vegetarians off. No, look, I love it, mate. Thank you for sharing it, Pete. Feel free, listeners, to leave a comment in the show notes about what you thought of that little rant from the steakhouse. And if you've got a question, send it to me. Send it to tim@smallbusinessbigmarketing.com. Don't make it long. I can't read long emails. I lose concentration. Just a short question, comment, opinion. Then I can share it on the show. We're going to have a laugh. Hey, as you know, this show is made absolutely possible by the very good folk at Net Registry and 99 Designs, two sponsors whom I love because they are also in the business of making the life of the small business owner easy. Let me tell you about 99 Designs. It is a place where you can get anything designed. Get logos from $299, social media page from $149, clothing and merch, bit of merchandise from $189. And here's the thing, it's a 7-day design contest. You post your brief, dozens of designers from all over the world compete by submitting their finished design in low res. You see them coming in within hours. And then you award the prize money to the winning designer who releases you the high-res files. I've got a forum member of the Small Business Big Marketing Forum who launched a contest today, and he says, his name's Luke. G'day, Luke, by the way. Welcome to the forum, mate. He says, I'm enjoying watching the designs come in, and so far it is a much more pleasant experience than anything I have had with Elance. Ooh. And I haven't even been on for 14 hours. So already you're starting to see designs come in. It is pretty amazing. And you're likely to get tens and tens, if not hundreds of designs. You get 100% money back guarantee as well. So there's nothing to lose. Head over to 99designs.com/SBBM and you'll get a free $99 Power Pack upgrade, which will lead to 185% more designs being submitted. Got to love that. 99designs.com/SBBM. Hey, speaking of businesses that help other small businesses grow, head over to netregistry.com.au if you need any part of marketing your business online sorted, right? You need a domain name, you need good website hosting, you need a bit of pay-per-click advertising loving, like Google AdWords, that type of stuff. You might need a website designed or developed. They do it all, right? They are good at it. It's just what they do. They're specialists. We love a specialist because then they're really good at their speciality. So, netregistry.com.au is where it's at. And tell them Timbo sent you. Okay. It's the part of the show which you love, right? It's the guest. I think you love. Do you love it? Or do you like the listener questions? Or do you like hearing feedback from other motivated business owners like you? I don't know. I do love the interviews. This guy's name's Steve Hui, and he was recommended to me by Tara Frolic. That's a nice surname. Tara sent me a note a few months ago. She said, hey, I'm a full-time marketer, Timbo, micro-food business owner, budding writer about loyalty programs as well. I'm an Aussie from the Gold Coast, now living in Cape Town, South Africa, and love listening to your podcast week in, week out. I reckon you should interview Steve Hui. He owns a business called iFLYflat. Keep up the great show, Timbo. Hey, Tara, thank you, number one, for suggesting Steve, because it turned out to be an excellent suggestion. Hey, listeners, if you've got someone who you want me to interview, by the way, just send me a note, tim@smallbusinessbigmarketing.com. Put in the subject line, interview suggestion, and introduce me maybe to the person you have in mind. Back to Steve. So Steve is a cubicle escapee. For 17 years, he was working in corporate Australia, Macquarie Bank specifically, and decided to leave and start his own business, inspired by his innovative thinking, his passion for travel, and a burning desire to optimise things, right? So he's gone, what do I love? I love helping people with their frequent flyer points so that they can travel in style. So he set up iFLYflat.com.au in 2012, and it's a points optimisation consultancy, the only one of its type in the world, believe it or not. And it's just a really interesting business and fun business. He's had a heap of media coverage. Young business leader by CPA Australia in 2014. Top 10 startups to watch by Startup Daily. He's been named the Points Whisperer by the Sydney Morning Herald. And he's appeared on Sky Business, AF, Australian Financial Review, CEO Magazine, etc., etc. He's an interesting fellow. I started off by asking Steve, what's the most luxurious flying experience he's ever had?
Actually, 2 weeks ago on Singapore Suites to Singapore, Sydney.
Right.
Fantastic service, choice of Krug or Dom when you want to sleep, lobster or caviar. It's the hard choices on board.
I'm so sorry to hear all that. Singapore Suites. So is that their version? Is that Singapore Airlines version of first class?
It's actually their version of Beyond First Class. They
Get
also
out!
have First Class as well.
They've got a first class as well.
Yeah, on a different plane. So the suites are only on their A380s.
Yep.
Whereas the first class are on all their other planes.
Oh, okay. You need to walk us through this because I didn't know there was a Beyond First. Beyond First Class to me would have been Learjet, a private jet. So it's on the A380.
Yep.
You turn left as you walk in.
Yep. You turn right, actually, because you enter at the very, very front. So the A380 is a double deck.
Yep.
So the suites are on the bottom deck.
Yep.
Right at the very front. And it's got about 12 suites.
And what's a suite? I imagine a small room.
A small room with a sliding door. And the key thing about the Singapore suites are there's 2 lots of 2 seats in the middle that can be converted into a double bed. That's their USP.
Hello to all you Mile High Clubbers. It now just got a whole lot easier.
Yep. You can look through though, so it's not total private.
Right. Maybe that's on purpose, hey?
That's right.
If the planes are rocking, don't bother knocking.
That is correct.
They need a sign like that. Tell me, so suite. What have you got? Have you got a bed and a seat, or it's all in one? What's in the suite?
All in one, so you can convert it into a fully flat bed. So the flight attendant will come in, convert that, and put a little underlay for you, and it will be fully flat. So you have to pop out, and normally that's the time when you change into your pajamas or so. And you come back, and the fully flat bed is there, and has a big TV. I'm not sure how big, maybe 20 inches. And you can have a door that closes, and you have a private space.
It doesn't. I've been lucky enough to fly business class in Emirates on an A380. Now, I didn't have. It sounds like just a bigger version of something like that. I didn't have a suite, but a flat bed, relatively big TV, had a cabinet, had a fridge, had amazing amount of storage. So it's sort of a bigger version of that, is it?
Yeah, bigger version. I think just the door gives it a little bit of sense of privacy, and then when you sleep and things like that. But
lobster, mate.
And lobster, or you can choose from a whole. They've got this thing called Book to Cook, so you can pick from the menu, and they'll have it ready for you.
Prior to boarding the plane.
Yeah.
And I imagine there is a pick up from home and pick up from airport on the other end, and all that type of stuff included.
Yeah, no, Singapore don't do that. I had a points ticket, so I don't think it includes it. Right. Emirates does have a pickup.
They do. Even for business, they do.
Yeah, even for business, that's included in even a points ticket. So Emirates is very generous. But Singapore does have their own first class check-in in Singapore.
Yeah, right. And so they should. I mean, do they know who you are?
They don't know who I am, but it's their home port, and that's where they have great lounges and service. So,
Steve, you flew to Singapore Suites. So tell us, how many points did that cost you?
Yeah, so one way I went Sydney, Singapore, Hong Kong for 67,250,000 points.
Right.
What would it have? Just under $300.
Taxes $300. And what would it have cost you if you're paying for it?
$4,000 one way it would have cost.
That sounds cheap. I know it's like $4,000 one way to Singapore, but that sounds, given that it's above first class.
Yeah, not actually a pretty good price for one way. So, but I guess comparatively, if you flew economy, that ticket would probably cost only about $800.
Yeah, right. Hey, before we get stuck into how you came to start iFLYflat, what's your favourite airline?
My favourite airline is actually ANA, which is a Japanese airline.
Never heard of them.
Home base is Japan. It's called All Nippon Airlines, and I flew them from Tokyo to New York one year, only 2 years ago, on their first class, and it was amazing. The food was absolutely stunning.
Right,
just like if you're on the ground.
And like just everything, like food, the seats, the interiors, the service, the lot.
That's right. The cabin was well thought out. So normally on a plane, you got a bottle of water, you got your mobile phone, you got your glasses. With that suite, they call it a suite as well. You didn't have a door, but you had a place for everything. So you could put everything and go to sleep knowing that it will be there when you wake up. So it was really well thought out.
Yeah, nice. ANA, okay, not heard of that. Hey, now let's get stuck into how all this came about, because actually, like literally, I'm guessing it looks like 2012 was when you launched iFLYflat. So up until recently, you were stuck in a cubicle in corporate Australia, working in finance divisions. I'm guessing you were a CFO or accountants within an accountant within large corporations. So you escaped the cubicle and launched iFLYflat in 2012. Tell us about the aha moment you had for the idea.
Oh, well, actually, the aha moment came about 6.5 years ago when, in that corporate job, I flew business class for the first time to do an outsourcing gig in New Delhi. And that actually was the first A380 that ever flew. And I was lucky enough to fly business class on company account. Ooh. And I thought, well, this is the way. This is the way you're supposed to travel. And that seeded the idea. And after a couple of trips, my points added up. And I thought, well, how am I going to keep this up? And actually quickly discovered that points was the best way to keep flying up the front.
So, quickly discovered for yourself, and there must have been a point where you've gone, I'm gathering you're quite an analytical kind of guy. You love the numbers and the spreadsheets. Would that be fair?
Yeah, that's right. Yes, it's all about numbers.
Okay, so you were. I want you to reveal your secret sauce later, by the way. So hold tight. But
yep.
You were stuck. Were you stuck in the cubicle 6.5 years ago and looking for an opportunity to start your own business?
No, at that time this business didn't exist in my mind. It was literally, I thought about points pretty cool. How to maximize my own points. I thought everyone else maximized their own points, so I didn't think there was a business idea.
Yeah, right.
Still quite happy in corporate at that point in time. And then slowly, maybe about sort of 2.5 years ago when I quit my role, started realizing many people were not optimizing their points and actually had a much bigger chance of earning points than I did.
Did you say when you quit your role?
Yeah, I quit my corporate role about 2.5 years ago.
Okay, and what, you had enough cash flow to kind of allow this business idea to simmer and then launch?
Yeah, I actually sort of engineered a redundancy, so I got
yes.
the best of both worlds.
Nice work. So, okay, so at a point you've gone, okay, people aren't maximising points. People aren't as analytical and love numbers. My bookkeeper showed me a spreadsheet yesterday. I just looked at him and said, Bernie, you're kidding. Really? I'm going cross-eyed, mate. Not everyone's like you, Steve. So you saw that opportunity and started to realise that, because what we all do with our points is go, I've got some points, I'll go and use them, and that airline says it requires that many points, so I'll give them that many points. Whereas what you're saying is there is a way of actually making much better use of them.
Yeah, that's right. So There's different ways of earning them. So different credit cards offer different points earning ratios and also different transfer ratios to airlines. And then on a spending side, different airlines charge different prices to fly to A to B. So it's about coming up with a plan to say, if you want to go to Europe, then potentially this airline works best for you, and then how best to earn those points in a very targeted way. What I did find was people were earning points, but then they were tempted by redeem them from an iPad or a Dyson vacuum cleaner or something fancy, which is pretty cool, right? So you may not have wanted to pay that much money for it, but you could probably have redeemed a bit for a business class flight too for the same number of points.
Yeah, right. So were you? Must have been a transition where you've gone. You're doing it for yourself. You're optimising the points for yourself. Your friends and family are starting to see, this Steve fellow is starting to fly up the pointy end more often than not. What's he doing? So then they've started asking for help, and you've been offering that for free.
Yes, that's right. They're asking for help. You offer them free, but the funny thing is they do nothing about it.
Interesting.
So you start getting frustrated by. You tell your friends this is what you do. And they say, yep, and nothing happens.
Isn't that just like that? I find that, in fact, I coined a phrase a few months ago. I think I shared it on Facebook, on the Small Business Big Marketing Facebook. It was called an ask hole, ASK, hole. And it was someone who asks for advice but never acts on it.
Yep.
It actually got a bit of traction. Some people thought I was referring specifically to them. I might have been. But you had a lot of ask holes in your life, did you, who were interested but just not actioning? And you
It's not actioning. And you sort of put much more effort trying to drag them and they were not paying you 1 cent. Then that's where the idea came, well, if I charge people, they'll listen to me. And actually action will prevail, yeah.
They put skin in the game, and all of a sudden, what you're offering for free, you're now getting paid to do.
Yep. Because I think free advice is worth zero, unfortunately.
Yes, yeah. You've got to put a value on it because then people value it. And what was that point then? Because you'd got a redundancy, so you had some cash flow. You had to choose to do something at some point. Yep. You might have gone back into corporate. What was the kind of decider that made you start this business?
Yeah, I launched it. So I was still looking for a role, and I launched a business, and I went to sort of a function, and I started telling people about it, and they said, "This is what we've been looking for. Like we've got all these points, and we don't know what to do with them." And they all believed that they could never find a flight to book, and they started believing that the points were worthless. And really, just hearing all these comments gave me the real sort of switch to stop looking for a corporate role. And actually, I was in the middle of considering a role to take, say, this business or that role. And very lucky, I decided to go with the business.
Right. So in launching the business, what did you do? Did you whack up a website, or did you just start charging people for the advice? How did it happen?
Yeah, the first step was the website. So very much all hands on deck. This is my version. Current version is probably version 4 of the website, which I've all built myself every time. So website, you knock up with membership pages, and then you start just going out there and networking and talking to people. And if you speak to someone that knew me 3 years ago, it's a very much different Steve today than 3 years ago.
In what way?
I think much more outgoing and much more comfortable in my own skin. Happy to go anywhere in the world alone, meet people. There's customers everywhere. I've got customers everywhere in the world.
So were you introverted and kind of happy to hide behind some spreadsheets in a cubicle, and because maybe you weren't in love with what you were doing, and now you're kind of putting words into your own mouth here, but now you fully believe what it is that you do and have embraced it?
I think a bit of both. Like the prior role, accounting, finance, that is very introverted, and you're just meeting the same people every day. Obviously, the company hires similar people in those roles, so you weren't front facing.
They're a bit wacky.
In the business means that if you're not selling and you're not promoting, then no one else is doing that. So to make sure it survives and gets to the vision, it grows to the vision that I wanted it to be, you have to tell people. And then you find out actually everyone is actually really nice. Most business people are great, normal people. They just want to
interesting.
Get
so, because this is like you're a guy who never had a reason to market anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I've worked in corporate and I've gone down to the bean counters, and they're there and they're looking at the screen, or heads down. They've got no reason to promote. In fact, as a marketer, I knew they'd talk behind my back, Steve. You guys did, didn't you? Marketers, wankers.
These marketers are just selling thin air. These are the details back here. These are the terms and conditions.
So now, and that's completely flipped, and now you get that buzz. And I get too, when it's your own business, it's exciting when you speak to someone and they love to hear what it is you do and how it can affect their personal or business life.
Yeah, so one of the key things I do is really helping people to fly. In a way, it's a bit cliche that the fly of their dreams. I think everyone always wants to go somewhere, either with their parents or with their partners, with their kids. And the thought of flying in economy is such a long way. The holiday only starts when you get to your destination.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm trying to help people do is to realize, they got all these points which are earning for free, and you can actually have your dream holiday with your family, whatever you want, flying. And your holiday starts in the moment you shut your front door, because you fly business class or first. That itself is a exciting journey.
Well, I would even argue for your business that it starts when someone engages you to find them a really exciting deal. Because, for example, I use myself as an example. I'm looking to go take the family overseas next year. And right now, before meeting you, I was going to get out there and look for the best economy seats to get 5 of us across to Europe somewhere. And that's exciting. No, it's not. The idea of going is exciting. The idea of finding the best deal, kind of like, what a pain. Because you're going to be, personally, I'm going to be constantly questioning, is that the best deal? Is that the best airline? Are they going to stuff us around? Is that airline better than, it's like having all these kind of conversations. Whereas if I was using someone like you, then I'd be excited to call you and, hey, say, Steve, we're off, mate. We're off to Europe. Over to you. Can't wait for you to tell us what you've got us. It's like you're delivering a present to us.
Yeah. We do find a lot of happy customers where they've decided that they want to go. They've got the points, or they're saving for the points, and we start looking for them. So every day we give them an update on what we found.
That's exciting.
And their holiday is getting closer. But we find that when they really get excited is when we actually book them a ticket, and they know they are going to fly business or first, confirmed ticket, and that's it. Really, from that point onwards, every time you speak to them, they're happy chaps.
Yeah. Well, I can't help but give it marketing advice. You could be an arsehole and ignore it, but I would argue that the holiday starts when they first call you, because and not when they shut their door to head to the airport. I just think it's such an exciting thing that you offer, and you've really touched a nerve with the business, and in the sense that, I've been, I know when I hop on a plane and I walk through business, there's an envy. Oh, geez, I'd love to be up there. Or when I'm lucky enough to be in business and people walk past, you see the odd side glance, and they're thinking what I've thought as I've headed down into cattle class. And you solve that problem.
Yeah, I make it sort of achievable for sort of near everyone with a plan. And I think they make you walk past business class for a reason, because everyone knows.
Yeah.
Everyone strives for the aspirational product.
Chop, come on, down, get all the cattle down the back.
Yep.
So tell us, iFLYflat, I'm keen to understand how you market it and some of the other things, how it's impacted upon your business, because from what I can see, you don't just book and help people optimise their points, but you've added some additional revenue streams. I'll come to that. But the services that you offer in iFLYflat, there's a good one, iFLYflat. That's for large individuals who want to somehow secure 2 seats.
A future business model.
Future business model. Tell me, you help people optimise their points to start with. Yes. You help people use their points optimally once they've got them.
Yep.
There's a third one where if you haven't got enough points, you talk about arbitrage. I didn't quite understand that service.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, so if you don't have enough points, there are some services where you can buy points, official channels. So it comes with a much more longer term plan, because you have to buy these points and then you got to sit on them, and then you got to hope that when you want to fly, the seats become available. So it's a bit of risk and reward. It's like an investment. So we help people with a longer term flying needs to buy these points from the airlines themselves and redeem them.
So I didn't know you could buy points. I would have thought buying points would be an expensive exercise. And you might as well buy the ticket.
Cheaper than buying the ticket, because these airlines sell points for good cash flow, and they sell them at a discount.
Interesting.
So you work the numbers out, and it becomes 30% to 50% cheaper than a retail ticket.
Interesting. And then, and then your fourth service is you're a travel agent. If you can't help, you can still book the ticket. So I'm guessing, is there an 80-20 rule applying here? What's the service that you do most?
Yes, our main service is the Points Optimisation and Advisory, and the flight and booking flights using their own points. That's our two biggest services.
Points Optimisation Advisory. Okay, so here's the credit cards you should get. Here's how to use them to get the most points, and then here's how to use them.
Here's how the point systems that will get you those points the best way.
Gotcha. Now, pricing, I know, does many small business owners' heads in. How have you gone about pricing this?
Well, it's a continuous changing, and actually this can be some change come next year as well.
Oh, more expensive or cheaper?
More expensive, because people are telling us that we are saving them upwards of $6,000, $10,000, $25,000 a year, depending on how many points they can earn, and how many flights they take. So, and then they sort of quietly tell us, I think you should charge them more money. But don't charge me more money, but charge other guys. So the feedback I've been getting is that the service is too cheap. Wow.
Okay, so how have you gone about? How have you priced it?
So at the moment, it's priced at between $1,300 and $3,000. That has the points advisory and also a certain number of flight bookings. So we've got 3 different packages at the moment. Each package has a certain number of flight bookings included. We also offer separately just only a points advisory one, or if you want to just book flights separately using your own points.
Yeah, right.
So we've got a couple of ways to help.
Okay, so it's a membership model. I'm looking at it now. You've got you got your nice little pricing chart. Sole trader, small, medium, strategy only, and it's a membership, 12 months membership with some limitations around it in terms of how often you can. It's based on legs, is that right? Number of legs you fly.
Number of legs booked, using your own points.
Great. Do you find most people, these membership models can be great because people sign up and never use them. Do you find most people sign up and do use them?
Everyone signs up and flies at least once, because that's really the main driver to sign up. And some people, we book flights monthly for some people, and some people fly like twice a year. I think on average, people don't have that much leave, and even if they're running their own business, they still can't get away that often. So typically 2 flights a year with their family, or if you're actually running a business that flies all around the world, you probably fly monthly.
I noticed you kind of put a nice filter on it. I think I saw it on your homepage. It's slowly loading as I say this, but you've got, here we go, something around like, is this service for you? And you basically say, is it your personal and or business expenses total more than $80,000 a year?
That's right, yeah. So that's the minimum that we set, because $80,000 spend on anything, not just travel, anything you can put on your credit card, suppliers, electricity, gas, fuel, whatever, supermarkets, translates to between 80,000 points and maybe 120,000 points that you could earn per year on the right cards, which means that's a business class flight to Asia, probably worth about $4,000. So that sort of means that you engage us and we can do that for you. You save yourself a couple $1,000 straight away.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, the old pricing, mate, it's a challenge, a constant challenge, isn't it? But you're operating on feedback and people saying you're too cheap, so you're going to put them up. Good on you.
Yeah, there's always people that need we come across many people that spend upwards of $10,000 per month to $300,000 per month on their cards. So the ability to save a lot of money can come really fast.
Yeah. Listeners, I'm talking to Steve Hui, who is the CEO of iFLYflat, a membership-based program that will get you lying down at the pointy end of the plane. And if you've never done that, it's kind of a bucket list thing, really, isn't it, Steve?
I think it's both a bucket list thing and an annual thing, because
good on you.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. It is fun. Now, Steve, I want to talk about marketing, how you get something out here like this, because you're kind of marketing something that people don't know exists. Like,
Yes.
I don't imagine people Googling, well, maybe they are. How do I optimize my points? How do I get it? Maybe they are, but there'd be some kind of weird search terms that you'd have to chase after. I don't think people realise that an actual service exists like yours.
That's right. Yeah, no one knows.
So how do you go about getting the word out there?
Yeah, so 2 channels. We do a lot of sort of media, sort of that I run. But so we contact magazines and say, this is what we do. Do you want an article? So I've been fairly successful in that. Like in CA magazine, we've had it in BRW. We've had sort of newspaper articles in the mass media a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And customer referrals is a huge area.
Yeah, right. So word of mouth because you're offering great service. Just on the PR, so you're out there generating interest from the media. You're actively knocking on the doors of magazines, TV, radio, press, and saying, "Hey, listen, we exist. Do you want to write an article?" Do you make it easy? Do you send them an article or a Q&A? What do you actually do to get their interest?
We've probably been getting better in the last 3 or 4 months by giving them a PDF summary of what our services are, pricing and everything. So, but prior to that, it was just really trying to explain to them what we did, and we were the first to market, and we still are. We're unique globally in what we do.
Really?
So, yes, it's very interesting and very easy for them to put an article in their magazine to talk about us.
It is. It's a sexy offer. It's interesting, it's sexy, and everyone wants it.
And it's the ultimate something for nothing, in a planned way. So that's very exciting for everyone.
Yep.
Flying for free is a really attractive. And parties are very popular to talk about.
What is?
Flying for free.
Yeah.
Giving points.
Yeah, totally. So you actively chase PR, and I imagine you would have got tens of thousands of column centimetres and maybe seconds on. You've been on TV and radio?
I've been on Sky News Business roughly about 2 years ago.
Did you get nervous?
At that session, it was, but getting much better these days, and even going on travel conferences, and I feel totally comfortable. Just really just tell my message.
Well, this is interesting because again, I see this more and more. You've got an interesting service. It's well packaged up, and you're not just offering. You're making money through the membership model. But I notice you're speaking at conferences and running workshops. So are they additional revenue streams for you?
Yeah, the conferences and workshops are more about just exposure and awareness. There may be future revenue streams, but not currently. Currently, it's just about spreading the word, helping people know that you can either do it yourself if you want to go through all the forums and read hundreds of pages. And really, I see myself no different to, I guess, maybe I don't want to compare it to a tax agent, but you can technically do your tax return yourself, but no one wants to because it's quite technical, but it can be done. So we probably do something similar. We'll get you bums on seats.
Don't compare yourself to a tax agent.
Not good marketing.
No. So you're speaking. I mean, again, here's a guy who, you were in the cubicle. You've probably never spoken from stage before. And now you're telling us that you're completely comfortable getting up and speaking to 100, 200, 300 people?
Yeah, completely comfortable. And any time. So if someone tapped me on the shoulder and said, you want to say something? Yeah, fine. I'll say something because I see it's no different. I speak to hundreds of people per week, just telling them about what I do on the phone, face to face. So the fact that I'm on TV or on stage is just the same thing, I feel.
It's great for you that you've been able to break through that because many don't. And I'd love listeners to kind of embrace that, and all the business owners who are listening. Public speaking, some people would rather die than speak from stage, which is a kind of weird kind of fact. But, if you can break through that fear and realise that you are sharing something that will improve people's lives in some way, which is what every business should do, then it should put you at ease. I do a lot of speaking from stage, and I just think, I'm about to share some knowledge that will improve someone's business and, make their day just that little bit better.
Yeah, and I feel everyone who's watching you and listening to you, they want you to deliver the message. They're not looking at, what's he doing with his arms? What's he doing with? So they're not looking at that. They just want to listen to you. So
how do you handle because now that people are becoming more and more aware of what you do, I imagine there's more and more people coming up after you speak or meeting you at a networking event and wanting the free advice. Oh, Steve, I've got a couple of 100,000 points. What should I do? How do you sort of divert that conversation to say, well, I've got 3 or 4 membership membership levels, and I can tell you which ones. What do you say?
I guess it depends on them. I find out a little bit of information about them because it's not as easy. Actually, yesterday I got a tweet from someone saying, "What's the best credit card?" And I said, "Well, there isn't such a thing because otherwise the 331 other credit cards can just shut up shop."
Yep.
So each credit card, so depending on what your travel goals are, depending how much money you spend, and depending on how much annual fee you're prepared to pay, differ in options.
Yeah, right.
And benefits.
Yeah,
so there isn't one product. There should be. Hopefully there'll be an iFLYflat credit card out there.
Hey!
That'll be just a one-stop shop there.
Why not? That sounds like it's on the drawing board.
Very lightly penciled in.
Love a good product extension. Tell me just one other question on marketing. You mentioned Twitter. I noticed you've got the High Miles Club on LinkedIn.
Yes.
Is that something that's active? And do you find overall social media as being an effective tool?
Yeah, I find LinkedIn to be very effective.
Yeah.
And the High Miles Club is an easy way for me to not spend much time, but to push out deals. Mm-hmm. So I see probably hundreds of deals per day. And the idea is that I'll push out all the ones which are easy to use and not ones that need complication because I know everyone's busy. So I use that. So got just under 1,000 members on there. Mm-hmm. And every day or every week I push something out there that's useful for everyone. Twitter I don't use as often because don't what to say in 160 characters. Facebook I'm on a bit, but LinkedIn's my main one and newsletters.
Yeah, I imagine LinkedIn would be great. You could. I imagine there's another model there for you in terms of revenue. If there's hundreds of deals coming out each day, I guess many of which we see. If you subscribe to an Airlines e-newsletter, are we seeing some of those deals? Are you also saying there are deals that we, the public, don't see that you see?
So the public do see, but I subscribe to all these different blogs and newsletters. So therefore, in a way, it comes to me curated already. Mm-hmm. And then I pick all the ones which are most effectively could be utilized. So hotels, or you might get bonus points by doing this and that. So for example, Virgin and BP just done a new deal where you can get Virgin points by BP petrol stations.
Right.
So it's just about putting those news out there because I think most people just don't think about points all the time. So that's what I do for them.
Do you get, I'm leading somewhere with this, do you get business from the High Miles Club? Significant amount of business from the High Miles Club? Or do people just no? I didn't think so.
Maybe 1 or 2. No, that's just a forum. I've got knowledge, happy to share, and it requires not much work on my behalf.
Okay,
so,
all right. Well, if there's not much work, where I was going was it sounded like a bit of work actually, and I thought maybe you're getting a bit of business from it. But at the end of the day, you don't own LinkedIn. LinkedIn could close down groups like yours. They might not. They probably won't. But you don't own that, and I'm wondering whether it would be better sitting behind a paid password wall on your website where people pay, mate, it might be, $20, $30, $50 a month to have access to all these curated deals that you spend time doing.
Yeah, it could be a future model. I think at the moment, if you have a paid, then that provides a higher expectation on the quality of all the deals. Mm-hmm. So my core service at the moment is all about sort of helping people with the points of optimization and points bookings. And I feel that I literally have so much advice and so much deals that come through. Sometimes they're perishable. So a deal that might last a week. If you don't share it with people, they end. So there's no point keeping it to myself. Just get it out there. More people saving money, the better. Yeah,
gotcha. Oh, Steve, fascinating, mate. Well done for starting the business. Where's the next trip?
Next trip is this week to Hong Kong and then to Shanghai. So I get to fly suites again on the way back. This time with my wife, so we'll be checking out the double bed.
Oh, hello. Put the sign up. If the planes are rocking. How many points does that cost you?
From Shanghai, it was about 80 or 90,000 points one way. And then Sydney to Hong Kong, Qantas Business was 60,000 points.
Right, okay. You're living the dream, mate. Steve Hui from iFLYflat.com.au. Thanks for sharing some insights and taking us behind the scenes of what I guess is called travel hacking.
Yes, in some respect, travel hacking, yes.
Good on you, Steve.
Thank you.
What about that, team? Do you enjoy that? Do you want to fly flat? Do you want to be at the pointy end of the plane? Hey, listen, I've got my top 3 learnings from that chat with Steve, thanks to the good guys at Net Registry and 99 Designs. Number 1, PR. Actively seek editorial. Steve's sought out a lot of PR. Go to his website, iFLYflat.com.au, and you'll see just how much coverage he's got. Quite amazing. And it's free, you know. Well, maybe you have to pay a publicist if you want to, but you can also approach journalists directly. We've talked a lot about that on previous episodes. Hey, by the way, hit Steve up on Twitter and tell him you heard him on the show. His Twitter handle is iFLYflat. And tell him you love the interview or that you heard him on the show, whatever. It's a nice thing to do. Number 2 learning, look for a problem that you can solve. Hey, as marketers, we're problem solvers. As business owners, we're problem solvers. Are you in business solving a problem, or you are in business just eking out a living? The businesses that do really well solve problems really well. And there's lots of problems, and then maybe you're looking to start a business. Maybe you're trapped in the cubicle. There's lots of problems out there that need solving. And just because there are businesses out there solving those problems doesn't mean that you can't solve them better and create a better business. Hey, glass is half full, team. Now, 3rd learning, how else could your skills be used? So Steve is sitting there at Macquarie Bank going, well, I'm not really enjoying myself, and I love optimising things, and I have a passion for travel. How can I combine those? So what skills have you got that could be better utilised in your business or to start a business? I think it's a great question to ask. So there you go. There are my 3 learnings, and love to know what you got out of it. Would love to know. Please, I know it's hard to do this because you're probably out walking the dog or in the gym, but I'd love you to go to the show notes over at smallbusinessbigmarketing.com and go to episode 219, leave a comment in the show notes. That's a good thing. Then I know what you think. And I can, respond back and we can have a conversation. I'd like that. Okie dokie. Motivational marketing quote of the week. I'm not sure it's that motivational this week, but it's my favourite definition of marketing. It's inspirational in that it's simple. Marketing is what you do when you can't go and see someone. Huh? Do you like that? Marketing is what you do when you can't go and see someone. In an ideal world, right, you'd get up out of your chair, walk out of your office or your shop, and go and meet with every prospect and or client that you could. Have a coffee with them, ask how they're going, at some point start a business conversation, see what problem they have that you can solve. But, you only have so many hours in the day. So that's where good marketing steps in. If you create marketing that's personable, emotional, engaging, just like if you were in front of that client or prospect, then you're on a winner. Yeah? Approach your marketing like that. I like to think of marketing as writing a letter to someone. Doesn't mean that you have to do a brochure or something, like just any of your marketing that you do. Personalise it. Make it engaging and have fun with it. Marketing's what you do when you can't go and see someone. Righto. Next week, I got a fellow called Bart. You don't come across many Barts. I guess it's short for Bartholomew, but you don't come across many Bartholomews either. He's got a cool little business called Innies. Innies, eh? Things that you put in your shoes if you're young and youthful. You know how they don't do their shoes. Those young people of today, they don't do their shoes up. They tuck their laces in. Well, it causes problems, that. And Bart solves that problem. He's a cool little entrepreneur out of Melbourne and did a very good crowdfunding campaign. Now, I am also close to nailing a big guest. Yeah, big guest coming your way. Won't drop any names. Mick Jagger once told me not to do that. But I'm working on it. Hope to announce it in the new year and do the interview shortly thereafter. Hey, join the forum. Crankmymarketing.com is where you should go and do it. A good thing to start the new year with. I'm in there every day answering your marketing questions. Just do it. Imagine if you got one marketing question answered a month that pushed your business forward. Surely that's worth a few bucks. Crankmymarketing.com. A very big thank you to netregistry.com.au and the good folk at 99designs.com/SBBM for your exclusive listener offer. Thanks, guys, for supporting the show. I love yous, but I love you even more. The listener, the motivated business owner that you are. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for allowing me to push your business forward, to open up your mind a little around this wonderful thing called marketing, the lifeblood, the oxygen of a business. We're going to do lots more of it, plenty more episodes to come, but until next time, may your marketing be the best marketing. Bye for now.
You've been listening to the Small Business Big Marketing Show with Tim Reid. Want more marketing goodness? Then visit smallbusinessbigmarketing.com.